this morning. Mike, would you lead us in our pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would y'all join me in a word of prayer? Father, we come to you this morning. Thank you for this day, and we thank you for this opportunity. And Lord, just be with us as we make decisions here today, and we just ask you to be with our country as we go through these times, Lord, and we be led by your Spirit, and we thank you for your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Cindy, do we have a quorum?
Mr. Chairman, yes, you do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes from, I'm sorry, Cindy, January 26th. I usually write it down.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, and a second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of minutes for January 22nd, right?
26th.
26th, okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay. Mike, do you want to get up and say something this morning for us?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations on being the chairman. I haven't seen you in person since you've been selected. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Commissioners, good morning. Thanks for your work in Chaves County. A few updates for you. I'll try to be as quick as I can. I have a lot of stuff, but I'll narrow it down for you. I attended the Air Service Conference in Phoenix about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and represented Roswell Chaves County. And why do I do that? It's about maintaining a presence with American Airlines, so we continue the flights to in and out of Roswell, which is so important for a community our size. I met with 6 different airlines, had meetings with airlines about possibility of other destinations. I will share with you the biggest problem that I think we have across the country is what happened with COVID, with the parking of aircraft and the elimination of flights, which created a real problem with pilots. So many pilots decided to retire. And what we've seen in the industry is the shortage of aircraft pilots is so significant, it's filtered down and it probably will affect our flights with American. But the pilot shortage, what's happening is a pilot takes about 1,500 flying hours to become a pilot from a first officer. Your legacy aircraft, airlines like United and Delta and American and so on, the big carriers, they require those pilots to have at least the minimum of 1,500 flying experience. It was about 2.5 years of flying experience as a first officer before they become a pilot. So that alone is a real issue because it takes such a long time to get them up to that level. It's a good thing for obviously for passenger safety, but it's a tough thing for getting more pilots in that seat. They've been bringing first officers up from the regional aircraft, the smaller aircraft, like the ones that service our community, and that are pilots flying smaller aircraft. So they're moving the first officers from the small aircraft to pilots in these aircraft, and there's a shortage of first officers in those smaller jets like we have here. So you see what's happening, that cascading down effect. It will be impactful, but speaking with American Airlines myself, we will maintain our presence with our flights to Dallas, and we're going to go. There's still discussions about other opportunities. Another airline I met with is very interested in serving us to Western Travel, and I think that's kind of important. But again, with the pilot shortage, it's kind of unknown at this time. Maybe later on this year we'll know a little bit more. You may have seen the paper that Lisa Dunlap wrote an article about General Airframe Support. They received a JTIP award, which I testified with the company to the board, and they were awarded for 25 new jobs $252,000 and some change for some new mechanics and new employees, about $18.81 an hour. So as you probably have heard from me before, is that we probably are one of the biggest rural communities in the state, if not the leading community in the state, with JTIP applications and awards. Every award that we've done, they've received every single penny that they've requested, so we're pretty anxious and happy about them. Last week, many of you, some of you and some of the folks throughout our county attended the legislative reception we have in Santa Fe, and appreciate Commissioner Perry for attending, and Bill Williams for flying in and driving up in the weather. But I think it was a very worthwhile event. We had probably well over 100 folks here with a lot of senators. All our senators were there, and any of our representatives. And it was a good event for people to network and speak about issues that impact Roswell-Chavez County and their businesses. While we were there, I took our staff to Economic Development Department, and also and met with the New Mexico Partnership. And basically, as you know, I have a new staff, and it's really for training. But what was important was we were able to solve some problems for a couple of businesses in Chavez County that's been challenged. So it turned out to be very beneficial in that regard. Saturday night, this past Saturday, we hosted a reception for the United States Navy. And as you may recall, they come here almost every year, and which is good economically for Roswell-Chavez County, because they spend a lot of nights in hotels, a lot of meals in restaurants, and so on. We thought there would be about 50. There was probably about 100. So, and this is the first of 3, excuse the pun, waves of aviators coming for training. And so we'll see a lot more young people around our community. I do want to share with you that the reason we do that as an economic development agency is because the economic impact they have in our region. It's pretty big. They can go someplace else, but it's great they come to Roswell, and hopefully they'll go back and tell their naval folks, their senior leadership, that they want to keep returning to Roswell. But more importantly, you never know who they talk to about their experience here in our community. And it could be family, it could be friends, it could be Uncle Joe with a business that may want to expand someplace, and you never know. So that's why we do that. We just hosted a leadership seminar, and thank you, Bill Williams, for allowing us the use of and Sheriff Harrington for the use of the Sheriff's Training Room for that. We had about 20 folks there. From a gentleman named Mike Gibson. In fact, Bill was there in the audience, and I thought it was a very good session, and we appreciate it. And we had some of your folks on staff in the county, as well as city staff. This gentleman does a lot of seminars for governmental people, and I thought it turned out fine. In just a few weeks, we'll have another hiring event. You know, we still talk to employers; they still have a need for employees, and so on March 14th, we'll be having another hiring event at the convention center, and the city's allowed us to use that for free, and we don't charge for that, obviously. It's a free service to our community and our employers. Share with you one last really neat thing that's happening is, and I haven't publicized this much because we're still in the planning stages, but this fall, the EDC and our community will be hosting the SiteLink Forum. Now, what is that? SiteLink Forum is a national economic development convention with consultants right here in Roswell. I don't think, I'm aware anyway, that's ever happened here. So we have a company that's coming in with several consultants, I think about 7 consultants, and economic development agencies across the country, probably about 70 of them. We'll host them for a week, and of course they'll pay to be here to attend the conference, but it'll be an opportunity to interface with consultants, and then we'll have the opportunity to give them a familiarization tour of Chavez County so they understand New Mexico. So it's kind of a big deal, and get a lot of national exposure for Roswell-Chavez County. You may have read in the paper also that the early college, high school kids, students, shouldn't say kids, but to me they're kids, but students attended the aviation students gave some presentations. So they were at the EDC. We arranged an event for all our aviation companies to attend and give feedback to the education community with those young people about what their needs are as prospective employers in the future. Good event. I was really impressed by those, I think it was about 9 or 10 students that gave presentations at their speaking ability and then able to portray where they're headed in their lives. I thought it was really good. And in fact, after I'll leave here, Mr. Chairman, I have a meeting over at Early College High School again to talk about more stuff with young people. I'm headed off to PB Expo here in another couple of weeks, and that's an aviation trade show. Have some meetings lined up with companies, and although we are very busy with projects, because we have 45 in the pipeline right now here locally, but you never know which ones will happen, which ones don't. You have actually more of them fail than you actually receive. But we have a couple very active projects right now that we've had the CEOs of companies already visit on a site visit. One will be here again in the near future, and hopefully soon we can share that good news with you. Lastly, we have worked with our local aviation companies that are considering expanding their footprints here as well, and I think that's really important because that means job growth. And I think what you're seeing and what I'm seeing is a lot of activity at our air center, which is really the gem of New Mexico, and I think we're starting to see all that work come to fruition. So hopefully, again, we can announce those and make you aware and the impact they'll have on our community. The one company out of California that visited, big number job growth in the 4-digit numbers, and his first thought was, well, where am I going to get my workforce? We are so blessed to have strong activity with Eastern New Mexico University and our public schools throughout the county, and to include Hagerman and Dexter, involved with that pipeline of workforce with students, all the way cascading to the university if they need additional training to help companies be successful. When we share that story, that resonates with those companies, and I think that's really important that they see that there may not be, a bunch of people ready to go to work today in their profession. However, the pipeline of people is real important to sustain their operations for the future. Many of these companies will bring people with them, and they are very, very high-wage jobs, create a lot of capital investment, and create a lot of taxes, which I know we all enjoy, but more importantly, they bring more opportunity to grow Chaves County and make a better quality of life for people that live here and will seek to come here, hopefully, and grow their families. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I stand for your questions.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone have any questions?
Yes, thank you.
Mike, thank you for all you do.
Yes.
You're a hustler. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Andrew, do you have anything you want to share from the chamber?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. So we have at the Chamber Rise with Roswell coming up March 23rd. It's a Thursday, 6 a.m. out at the fairgrounds, and we are happy to announce that we've got Matt Rush as our guest speaker this year. So you should all have an invitation right in front of you, as well as an email that went out, as well as my office will be harassing you relentlessly between now and then to make sure that you know that you're invited and to have your seat. We will have the event catered again with a wonderful breakfast from Saul and his crew. We are currently in the process of putting together the next issue, the spring issue of Roswell Now magazine, so we are accepting advertisements. We finally got our last story in yesterday, so we're in the editing process of making sure that everything's going to be wonderful for the magazine, so be looking for that towards the end of March to be hitting your doorsteps. And if you don't get one or want extra copies, you always know you can come to our office and get extra copies. Over the last month, we did attend AgFest, which was fantastic. The night before, we did go and attend the EDC reception with Mike and everybody, and we went to the legislative reception up in Santa Fe, as well as walking around the Roundhouse and speaking with all of our wonderful elected officials on both the House and the Senate side. Tonight, we have the ENMU Chancellor coming into town, and his reception will be at the Anderson Museum from 5 to 7. So if you'd like to come out and meet the new Chancellor out at the college, this is a great opportunity, and also another great networking event. We've got our board meeting coming up next week, and I know Commissioner Dana has been sitting as an ex officio on our board, and we greatly appreciate her and all of the information that she's able to filter back to us so we can disseminate that to all of our members and the community. And we have been working with ENMUR as well in a job partnership that is our students are graduating with different certificates and different skill sets, that we are being contacted and being given their resumes to help disseminate out to employers. So for example, we have 3 students that have just graduated with their welding certificates, and they're looking for positions. So if anybody out there has a need for a welder, let us know. We are happy to forward on those resumes. And we have 2 executive assistants that are also looking for employment. So once again, if that is something that you're looking for, know somebody, let us know. We've got those resumes as well. And it seems like about once a week, we're being contacted by the college and told, hey, this student has graduated, this is what they're looking for, and we're happy to try to put employees and employers together so they can stay, because that's why they have been going out to the college, is because they want to stay closer to the community and in the community. So let's really help foster all of that. And with that, I stand for questions.
Thank you, Andrew. Anyone have any questions?
No, just thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Thank
it.
most definitely. Thank you very much, Andrew. Brian, you're from flood control. Do you have anything you want to share with the commission this morning, or? Put you on the spot, but anyway.
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. I didn't prepare anything, but
It's okay.
I can give you a quick update. We're still working on getting the project at the Macho Draw started. There's possibly going to be some extra funding coming from the state legislature. We have a Senate Bill 349 in the Senate Finance Committee currently, and I guess it has to go back to the Senate after that if it passes there. And other than that, we're looking at kicking off our river maintenance program when the weeds start growing, which was last week. And just business as usual, cleaning up some of the flooding damage along the Pecos, and continuing on projects that we've been working on. That's all I've got, if you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions for Brian at all? Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate the update. Okay, we're going to move over into our presentations. Annabelle, do you want to introduce your?
Good morning,
folks?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I am pleased to introduce to you Scott Eliason. He is the managing partner for Jaramillo Accounting Group.
That's actually odd.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Scott's her sidekick, so. Scott was our field manager working on this year's audit with us. He has a presentation to show you, and we'll briefly go over the audit report and financial statements with you. The audit report was released, and it is already on the state auditor's website. I placed a hard-bind copy in your boxes as well for you to read, and I also emailed you the link to that digital copy that's on the state auditor's website last night. With that, I would like to thank Jaramillo Accounting Group, all their staff, Mutia, Audrey, everyone that worked with us, and of course all of Chaves County for being so diligent in their hard work. And this will be reflected in this audit report that he's about to present. And with that, I'll pass it on over to Scott.
Okay. Well, good morning, Chair, Commissioners, County Manager. I'm here to give the results of the annual audit, and that is required that the auditors meet with governance after the audit report is released in an open meeting. So that's part of why I'm here today. And we just have a short presentation to just summarize the requirements of the audit and the requirements of communication to governance. So I'll go ahead and get started, and Annabelle's going to run things here. So the scope of the audit, you think of an audit as just the financial statements that are created as a result of auditing the numbers. Well, it's actually more than that. We look at it as really three pieces. We have the financial statement piece, but then we also have the piece that we call the OSA piece, that's the Office of the State Auditor, and they have requirements that are promulgated through the state audit rule. And so there's a number of different tests of compliance that we look at, everything from travel and per diem to procurement to personnel as it relates to your policy. So there's sort of a number of things that the state audit rule requires us as auditors to test. And then the last piece, because you've received federal funds, and the last, at least the previous year to this, you also had federal funds and over $750,000. So then we as auditors are required to test your compliance with the federal funds requirement and also the internal control structure as it relates to using those federal funds. And so that's really the third piece of the audit. Previous to, I think, the prior year, the county has not historically had federal funds that reach the criteria of requiring a separate federal funds audit. But anyways, in these financial statements, there's a separate federal funds audit opinion, disclosure of the program, and the dollar amount spent on the federal funds. And you'll see that in the financial statements, but I'll go ahead and continue on here. So we're required to talk about the scope of the audit. We do, as most auditors, take a risk-based approach to the audit and look at the overall risks, look at the internal control structure, look at dual control, segregation of duties, just a number of things that we look at to understand the internal control structure, document it, and then test it. We also look at GASBs. That's an acronym for Governmental Accounting Standards Board. There's a number of standards that we do look at that the county does follow as it relates to their information. There was one new accounting standard that got adopted this year. We'll talk just briefly about that in a bit. Our audit approach does have a lot of sampling in it because obviously we can't look at every single transaction or we would just be here doing the audit forever. But we do sample the various transaction cycles and transactions. Looking at, for example, the cash receipts transaction cycle, cash disbursements transaction cycle, payroll, financial close reporting with journal entries. So we look at all the major transaction cycles and do test those. One thing that we're required to communicate here is the audit itself is not designed to detect fraud. However, if we do see fraud risk factors, we do follow up on those and look at the various aspects of that. I'm happy to report that we did not notice any fraud, nor was any fraud reported to us. Also required to discuss the timing of the audit. You see the audit sort of starts in July, ends in November. Obviously, we're not spending the entire time period with staff during that time period. We do certain tests before the books are closed out. Which is June 30th, and it takes a period of time to close the books out and have subsequent transactions to test. So we start in July or so, and then end, which results in the financial statements. The month of November, the financial statements are due to the state auditor's office by statute for all counties by December 1st. We did achieve that. One other thing to note about your financial statements that maybe is a little bit unusual is that the county actually submits what's called an ACFR, that's an annual comprehensive financial report. So your financial statements actually have a lot more information in them, especially at the back of the financial statements. There's probably 30 or 40 pages that have various types of 10-year statistical information, and you do get, of course, an award for submitting that every year. And so after the report gets released by the state auditor, then Annabelle submits those financial statements to the Government Finance Officers Association, and they do a desk review, and then ultimately, historically, every year there's been an award issued, and I'm assuming that will happen again, probably August, September, by the time they get through with their review. And we are required to report that we are independent. We're independent of the county. We have no relationships that would impair our independence. We do, the financial statements do have some significant estimates in the financial statements. You can see that there's pension and depreciation, and those are all sort of significant estimates in the financial statements. Journal entries. So the internal financial statements are on a cash basis, and budgets are on a cash basis. And then the funds get adjusted to what's called modified accrual. Payables and receivables are picked up. Annabelle and her team provides us that information. And then lastly, there are statements up at the front of the financial report that are on a full accrual basis that pick up the debt and the capital assets. So those are additional journal entries that Annabelle and her team give as part of assisting in the preparation of the financial statements. Areas of focus, lots of areas of focus. One new area was the leases, and we'll talk about that in just a minute here. Audit opinions is what everybody really wants to know. How did we do? Well, we do issue an unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements, an unmodified or clean opinion also on the federal programs, and then lastly, there's another report under government auditing standards that talks about internal control and compliance and other matters, and if there were any audit findings, they would be discussed in a very summary fashion there and then expanded in a finding in the financial statements. I'll just stop right here and report that we have no findings in the financial statements this year. The prior year there was a sort of a finding related to the Sheriff's Department and potential timesheet deficiencies there. That internal control structure was then looked at. That was actually self-reported to us in the prior year, and that was a finding in the prior year, and that was resolved. So that finding was resolved. And there it is right there. Prior year findings, one resolved, no current year findings. Yay. Yeah. And then some other post-audit communication that we're required to sort of discuss here, and that is, the aspects of your accounting practices and policies, and we believe that they're consistent and of good quality and industry aligned. No difficulties, no uncorrected misstatements, no disagreements with management. I'm not aware of any other consultation with other accountants, no significant deficiencies. We are independent, and so I will just talk briefly about the one new accounting standard that's GASB 87 on leases, and what that required was for the county to go back and look at all their lessor leases and all their lessee leases. And so from the perspective of lessor leases, I think that the county had close to 25 leases where they leased property off for more than a 12-month period of time. Those leases now get included in the financial statements as opposed to just a footnote. And then also there were the requirement to present the accounting consequence of lessee activity, and the county had lessee activity, which is mainly copiers, but there were also some road graders that the county leases, so that accounting consequence also is included in the financial statements. Nothing unusual to report there, just a required new standard, and that'll be required every year to compile that lease information and include it in the financial statements. So not only does it get included in the statements, but also there's a couple footnotes that actually just describe that activity. And so that concludes the required communication. We could jump into the financial statements. They're like 200 pages long. Go through all the numbers. Did you want any numbers you want me to go through?
No, I don't know if there's anything specific commission desires to look at.
Does anyone have anything they want to look at or specifically? Mike? Sir.
If you come up with any questions, Annabelle is pretty involved in the details, so she can certainly apprise you guys of that information. So if there's any questions related to the audit process, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Guess not. So, thank you for your presentation and
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Scott.
thank you.
Scott?
Mr. Chairman, the constituent services presentation from Senator Lujan's office, our representative didn't show up. We don't know if they got called away or what, but that's not going to happen this morning.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to agenda item number 1. This is a public hearing. Lewis?
Chairman, Commissioners, at the conclusion of last month's meeting, planning staff found a minor error in our procedural process. And so staff was able to correct this error and now once again is asking for approval of the proposed amendment to the Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance number 7. This is an amendment to Article 1, which is a general statement, Article 18, which is a special use permit, and incorporating Article 24, which is the wind energy conservation system, into the Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance. To give you a summary, Article 1 was reorganization of informational items, update referral documents, establish the County Planning and Zoning Commission, and expand and clarify staff's procedures and requirements for future amendments to the ordinance, zoning applications, and public notifications. The amendment to Article 18, the special use, was to add regulations and restrictions for consideration of special use permits. And the final is to incorporate Article 24, which is wind energy convention system, establishing development standards for construction and operation of wind farms in Chavez County with the purpose of protecting the health, safety, and wellness of the citizens of Chavez County. The Chavez County Planning and Zoning Commission accepted public participation at 4 separate regular scheduled meetings from September to December of last year. And on December 6th, the Chavez County Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the amendments. Notice of the public hearing was advertised on January 28th in the Roswell Daily Record, being more than 15 days prior to this public hearing.
Okay. If this is a public hearing, anyone here wanting to speak in favor of? Anyone here want to speak in favor of? Okay, is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll, Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the amendment to Chavez County zoning ordinance number 7.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell and second by Commissioner Dana to approve the amended Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance number 7. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item number 2. Annabelle, yep.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 2 is ordinance number O-112, which is an ordinance adopting a county gross receipts tax. In January's meeting, we had requested permission to advertise for this public hearing. The advertisement had occurred on January 29th. We also had the ordinance posted on the Chavez County website, as well as copies with the clerk's office for the public to view. As you may recall, I gave a little history behind this proposal on this gross receipts tax. This ordinance will take place July 1st, and it will essentially replace Ordinance O-090 that will sunset one day prior, which is June 30th. By proposing this ordinance, there will be no raise in taxes. It will remain the same percentages for the county's respective percentages on the GRT. And with this, I would be glad to take any questions or concerns.
Thank you, Annabelle. Anyone have any questions? Being a public hearing, is there anyone here that would speak in opposition of this ordinance? Anyone here would speak in opposition? Okay, would there be anyone here that would speak in favor of? Seeing none, okay. Commissioners?
What's happening with the bill in the legislature to reduce the gross receipts tax statewide?
Well, I don't have any idea.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of ordinance 0112.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell and second by Commissioner Dana to approve O-112 ordinance adopting the gross receipts tax. Approval of. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item number 3, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'm pleased to announce that we're bringing to you this morning Agreement A-23002 between Chaves County and the Administrative Office of the Courts. This is a lease between Chaves County and the Administrative Office of the Courts for the lease of 15,652 square feet of the Chaves County Courthouse to house the magistrate courts. As you are aware, Stan, prior to his departure from the county, worked tirelessly to get them to come to the table and come up with a lease prior to it expiring. We continued that. Finally, we got it hold of the right people, and then they had all kinds of crazy requests, which we negotiated through. And like I say, I'm happy to announce we have an agreement that we can live with. They only wanted to go for 7 years total because they are currently in the House. There is a bill to fund the building of courthouses for magistrate courts throughout the state. So they think they will come up with money to build their own, and then they'll move out. But we'll see how that shakes out. But staff would recommend approval of this lease so that we don't have to go back to the drawing board.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Agreement A-23-002 for the lease of real property to the magistrate court, or to the Administrative Office of the Courts.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, seconded by Commissioner Taylor for approval of A-23-022 agreement to lease real property between Chaves County and AOC for magistrate courts. All in favor, say aye.
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 But
Did you
one
want
question.
Did you want, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Does it address security at all?
Yes. We do not provide security to the magistrate court as such. We provide security to our entire courthouse. We have fenced areas which we allow them to be in, which are just kind of extras that they get, extra perks that they get. And that was one of the things we made sure that we let them know, because they were asking us to do all kinds of other things to show that we're providing this security, but not charging them for this security. And Stan, do you have any comments on that particular portion of it?
Commissioners, it doesn't really discuss security because Mike provides that security there at the whole building, and they wanted to have a lot of additional requirements for Mike, and we wouldn't agree to that. Saying that you can't make Mike do things, and that, Mike's there every day, and that we run a magnetometer, and we do these things. They've got alarms, buttons, and Mike obviously will respond. His people are there. So it doesn't really cover a lot of the security. They just kind of have to live with what we're doing.
But because we have excellent security, they get the benefit of that.
Benefit of it and really aren't paying for it.
Thank you. Aye.
Thank you. Sorry, Calder. All right, agenda item number 4, Ellie.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. As to agenda item number 4, R-23-004, approval of the DWI grant and distribution application for fiscal year '24. The Chavez County DWI program would like the approval to submit the fiscal year '24 local DWI grant and distribution application. The estimated distribution amount for fiscal year '24 is $446,176. Chavez County DWI program is requesting under the competitive grant in the amount of $50,000. This amount will fund our full-time treatment provider. The application would fund the project year July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Staff recommends approval.
Does anyone have any questions for Ellie? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve R-23-004 FY24 LDWI grant and distribution application.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Perry. Motion by Commissioner Dana.
He speaks.
I had to point at him. I got it out of Commissioner.
I'm getting in the game.
Yay.
For approval of R-23-004 for the fiscal year '24 grant and distribution application. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Lucia?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners. Agenda item number 5 is Resolution R-23-005, which is a deletion of property and proposed disposition. Your approval of this resolution will allow staff to remove the attached inventory. I did pass out a revised Exhibit A to each of you all this morning with all the assets listed. Staff recommends approval.
Anyone have any questions?
Hold on, let me get down to there. I'm not sure where I am.
Where are the pool tables now?
They are
You're not taking
Currently-
one from the sheriff's office, are you?
Oh, no. They're currently, one was for Midway and one was Lake Arthur's. So they received new pool tables around 2020, and they have no use for these, so Lake Arthur, City of Lake Arthur would like to have them donated to them to be able to utilize.
Shucks. Let's see here. I need to get down to, okay,
Page 98.
yep. I just wanted to make sure we had a correction. Yeah, interesting list. I needed that paper shredder. No, I need the greenhouse. Where's the greenhouse?
The greenhouse is currently located at one of our, I believe it's the
1010
Macasati
South Garden.
Yes.
It's
You
actually a
have to
pretty
state
nice
why you want the
greenhouse.
Is
greenhouse.
it actually, yeah, I need the greenhouse to grow some
You knew.
Some stuff?
now
Some stuff?
legal agriculture products. How big is it?
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioner, that will be available soon on govdeals.com.
Okay,
I believe it's an 8 by 12. It's a glass greenhouse with ventilation. It's a nice greenhouse, but I
Wow.
believe it's going to be required that the purchaser remove it from the site. We're not going to take it apart. They will have to do that.
Shucks.
Correct. And you can go and look at it beforehand.
Yeah.
Make an appointment.
1010 South Garden.
Cool.
You can see it as you drive by.
I need a greenhouse.
Do we sell the pistols on
No.
govdeals.com?
No, we
No.
do not.
Oh, okay.
For the retired handguns, we will be selling it to a licensed licensed dealer. These retiree health, I want to say health guns, handguns would be going towards for 3 lieutenants that retired. Lieutenant Mason, Ramirez, and Ornelas, correct? And I believe the officers have put money together to purchase these for them, and we'll be purchasing them for them to give as a retirement gift.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Mason certainly needs one in his current.
So these are county assets, the handguns. They don't take them when they leave?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
And these are firearms that they carried whenever most of them first started. They've just been in the vaults. They're not the handguns we're using now. These are from the past that we allow them to go in and get the guns they actually carried and purchase those back.
Interesting. Okay.
And we do have a process for all that. We do require 3 bids and a memo from the department.
Okay.
And some of the deputies give money, raise money for that, and they'll purchase that to give to those retired deputies.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-23005 for the disposition of fixed assets.
Second.
He's in.
Motion by
Making a
Commissioner.
hand, isn't it?
Yeah, drop hand today. Commissioner Ezell, motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Perry for R-23-005 fixed assets disposal disposition. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 6 is a request for out-of-state travel.
Where's Will going?
Not this time. You've already approved that.
Yeah, he's already peeled out.
I attended the NACO Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C., February 10th to the 15th, 2023, and this is actually a ratification. I got verbal permission from the chairman, and we'd like to keep him here, so if you guys would approve this, we'd like that. Staff recommends approval. Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, I saw the pictures to prove that they were there. Looked like they were having a really good time.
And just so everyone knows, we did our best to get XL to buy our dinner, but that kind of fell apart. We were pitting friends against friends. The Valencia County Manager went to school at Bernard Treat, so we forwarded to Bernard's boss that they agreed to buy our dinner, but it kind of fell apart there in the end.
You're up.
You want me to approve it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I recommend to approve the request for out-of-state travel, item agenda number 6.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Perry, and second by Commissioner Dana to request for out-of-state travel. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Bill?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, next agenda item number 7 is for the 2023 Commission Committee assignments. Each year, the Board of Commissioners are appointed to serve on standing committees. The appointments run from January 1st to December 31st of each year. The following is a list of committees on which commissioners must serve. Finance, Investment, Road, Detention, Facilities, Fire, NMC Legislative, NACO Legislative, IHC, DWI, ETZ, Chaves County Lands, Economic Development Planning, Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District, Coalition of Arizona, New Mexico Counties, Special Projects, and Chamber. Approval is requested for the appointments of commissioners to the 2023 commission committees. I provided you a handout that the chairman and I worked on this last month. Staff recommends approval or discussion or whatever you guys want.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the 2023 committee assignments.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for the approval of the 2023 committee assignments. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank
Motion
you.
carries. Mac, agenda item number 8.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 8 is the 2023 Chaves County Road Hearing Applications and Appointment of Freeholders. 21 applications were received for our 2023 road hearings. Of those, we had 2 new road requests, 6 maintenance status change requests, and 13 road vacation requests. The deadline to submit these applications was Friday, February 3rd. Statute requires that 3 freeholders be appointed to view the road requests and make a report thereof to commissioners, and we will submit that report next month. The following individuals have been nominated by staff: Drew Garnett, Matt Ingles, and Sean Benedict. Staff recommends approval, and I'll stand for any questions.
Anyone have any questions for Mac?
21 applications, that could be a two-burrito trip.
Lots of snacky snacks.
What's the furthest road we got to go to?
Yeah.
There's one down south on the way to Artesia. I think it's off of Pueblo Road.
Yeah, it's on Pearson. It's right
Yeah.
near the county line, so
County line.
Piccolino's is in order.
Yeah,
There you go.
There you go.
And I'll be in charge of snacky snacks again, but not for the freeholders, right? Okay, good. Only for us.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the freeholders selected by staff.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor, for the 2023 Chaves County Road Hearing Applications and Appointment of Freeholders. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Mac, you're up again. Right.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 9 is ratification of out-of-state travel. The road department is requesting out-of-state travel for Justin Campbell and Jeremy Calkins to attend a manufacturer's training to cover the safety, maintenance, and operation of their new distributor truck. The training took place in Wickenburg, Arizona, from Monday, February 20th until yesterday, Wednesday. Staff recommends approval, and I'll stand for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if I could add something to that. Because of the weather yesterday, we need to change the date. They're actually returning today. The weather, there was about a foot of snow on the northern route, so they couldn't get from Wickenburg to Prescott to get back on I-40, and the wind was blowing so hard that we were certain that the road near Lordsburg was going to be impassable, so we just told them to stay put for safety's sake, and so we'd like to extend that date one more day.
I don't remember buying a distributor truck, or I would have asked in Finance Committee, what's a distributor truck?
Yeah, it's the truck that distributes the oil for us. We bought it with end-of-year
Okay.
funding last year. I won't say end-of-year funding, but a balance that was left. Chose rather than put it on this year's budget to go ahead and purchase it with end-of-year. And it's a great addition. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the ratification of out-of-state travel for the road department.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for ratification of out-of-state travel. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
We're going to call them and tell them they can come home now?
I told them already.
On the way.
I think they opened it up. I-40 was closed because of,
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
hadn't been ratified, so they couldn't.
yeah, they can't come home.
They can't
They can't come
Come on
home.
now. Got our legal beagles. Approval of checks.
Mr. Chairman, I do have something I need to point out.
Okay.
I did point it out when we received our packet. And Bill, Annabelle, you might have to, on this form, it has Michael Perry as chairman and Jeff Bilberry as vice chairman.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure that's corrected.
Okay, is it okay if we approve checks and
Yes, with that amendment.
the packet, when he signs, he'll sign
Yes,
the
I'll
correct?
have that changed right before the signature.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I don't want anybody coming back on us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Annabelle.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of checks of $3,596,250.62.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Perry for approval of checks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve reports.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana and second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of reports. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we're going to move into our unscheduled communications. They're limited to 3 minutes per visitor, not to exceed 15 minutes, and no formal action is taken by the commission. Ms. Rita.
Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners, Rita Kane Dorhofer, very narrow, unstriped Chicago Cubs mailbox, Mark Road. I am here today as Secretary, Litter Person, Education Person for Keep Chaves County Beautiful. We won the President's Award again, and this is without any monetary help from the county. We do get labor from the county, we do get advice from the county, and we do get taken to the principal's office every now and then from the county, but we can handle it. Also, we have a cleanup on Saturday for any of you who want to be out there picking up trash at 353 Red Bridge Road. It's all in that one area. We have a cleanup, starts at 9 o'clock, probably will end at, maybe 11 or 11:30, whenever I get tired, and we will get the trash taken to the proper facility, which is not going to be a compactor. Also, if you have any projects that you want Keep Chaves County Beautiful to put in the budget, we are getting, our grant cycle will probably be March. We'll have 10 days to put it together, and then we'll see what the state does. I already talked to Scott Massey, and he wants 2 trees for the courthouse lawn. I said, well, maybe, but they have to be colorful trees, not these green things. We need orange and yellow and red so it stands out. So if you have any desire of what you need, if you want more, if you want more cameras, you let me know so we can put that in there. If anybody wants anything, please let me know. And last but not least, it's baseball season. The Cubs have been in camp since January. Most everybody is February, but because we need more help. So if you want to play, let me know. Y'all have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you, Rita.
Put me down for St. Louis.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If looks could kill you.
Anyone else? State your name and your address, please.
My name is Jan Lambert Moss. I live at 6105 Kincaid Road in Roswell. I was here a couple months ago and complained about my neighborhood, and so far I haven't seen anything done. It's kind of getting worse. Yesterday I was out in the yard and heard somebody screaming and yelling. Thought a dog got her in the alley, and she was so high on drugs. She couldn't even walk. I don't know who she was. I'd never seen her before. She was dropping syringes and picking them up as she was trying to walk. She picked up a weed and held it like an umbrella. And I finally had to tell her to please move on. And she kind of wandered over to Allsup's over there. But this is a happening thing out where I live. And I'm afraid to go out in my yard at night. I put my dog up because I don't want her barking, because she will bark people going across. There's a big section at the base where they've got the 6-foot chain link split apart so they can go to Allsup's and just walk through there. And the dogs are coming through there. I had a mutt breed my imported German Shepherd. He crawled my fence and then went back through there. I had a gun in my hand, but I couldn't shoot him because I'm in a close neighborhood. But I was not happy about that, and he came from the base. People are back and forth through there. I don't know who can fix that fence where they have to walk on the sidewalk and stop doing things. I found a machete in my yard about this big and about like this. Have no idea whose that is, but it was in my yard, and I have a 6-foot chain link and gates that are locked, and it's getting pretty bad. I put 8 cameras up, and they stood on a lawn chair and unhooked my cameras in my yard. I don't know who to go to or what to do, but it's scary out there. They're still living in motorhomes and in cars. 2 blocks down, they block the alley. They've got 3-4 cars and trucks in the alley. You can't even get through the alley, and that's kind of a hazard if the fire department needs to go. They're cutting up cars yet. They're burning tires at night. It's really bad. We need some help out there, and I don't know who to talk to. If you've got any suggestions on what we can do, I would appreciate it. I'm not afraid. I have a gun, but I don't want to shoot somebody. It's just real simple. I'm going to be 83 years old next month, and I'm not safe. I'm a widow, and I train drug dogs yet for a living, and I'm afraid to even leave my dogs out in the yard. I'm afraid somebody's going to throw something over to them and kill them, because they do bark and guard the yard during the day, but I put them up at night so it won't bother the neighbors. So I'm asking for help out there. There's trash, unbelievable, as tall as a 6-foot fence in a property that I sold, and it's not paid for yet. And it stinks, and they're burning trash in the yard. It's bothering neighbors. It's really bad. And as I say, I need some help out there, and so do the rest of the neighbors. So if somebody could please tell us what to do, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have a Mike, did you ever get that? I know you and
Yes.
Lewis were working on
Oh, yeah.
the
So-
citation.
So we
program.
actually have towed off 15 cars out there. We are out there constantly. I have one of the guys was in jail for a while because of what we were doing. It quieted down. He's back out, and he's picked up his behavior again. We're on top of that. I'm getting phone calls about him driving and acting like a fool out there. So we're constantly out there. The property that we're finding on the property across from their house, we're having it towed off. So we're constantly out there. I think our biggest problem is the jail doesn't keep them in custody. And it's not the jail, the courts. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a DA problem.
Yeah,
That's not
that
a
is
jail
DA
problem.
That
That's
is not
a
jail
DA
problem.
problem.
Jail's doing a great job.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that is what we're dealing with. And the other issue, and she can attest to this, is we have a serious homeless problem. And there is no place to take the homeless. We can go out there, we can deal with them being intoxicated, screaming at cars, doing all that stuff, but there's no place for us to take them if they're not committing a crime. They're just walking to the Allsup's. And the fence that she's talking about, a pair of wire cutters cuts that right open again. So they take the path of least resistance, and a chain link fence will not work. So it's an ongoing problem. We've been dealing with it for, I would say, close to 27 years that I've been with the sheriff's office. That fence has been fixed, cut, and even down on the other side of Main Street where the recycling yard was, same thing. They would cut there, go over, steal the stuff from the recycling yard, and go back to where they came from. So it's just a constant thing. One of the best things that she could do is get the camera systems. If we have video of them doing something, we can deal with that. The problem is just like she said, they know how to get in there and disable her stuff. And but it is a constant, ongoing thing with our deputies and the individual. And when I say the word individual, that's exactly what we're dealing with. It's an individual.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. Cameron? Just a second, Cameron, did you want to, I think he wanted to address something, Sheriff. Sorry about that. Sorry. We gotta go.
Don't even.
Let her go first next time.
Yeah, I'll let you go first next time.
Justin Porter, 1 St. Mary's. Just to kind of elaborate on that, I'll share with you the experiences we're having at the detention center is the homeless people and the people that we see are addicted to drugs are now commonly coming in and admitting that they're using fentanyl in our community. And that fentanyl is mixed with some other things. And so we're seeing changes on these people, whether they're homeless, but our regular drug users are coming in impaired in very different ways than we've seen in the past. So we've seen some big changes in that. So when you see these people and you're dealing with them in the community, we've been sharing with DWI and our juvenile work groups that these things are out there. And you know, originally when it came out, everybody talked about that they were just blue pills, and be careful if you saw blue pills. But as it expanded, all the way back to Halloween around October, we started seeing that they looked like Skittles or like Smarties. So it's not just blue pills anymore. So we're seeing a lot of that. We've got a fair percentage of our populations coming in that's addicted, we'll admit to it. And so again, I just want to caution everybody that when you see these things in the community, just be aware. They're not just something you can pick up with your hands. They're things that you should be using gloves or contacting somebody to help you pick up, because these things are very dangerous and rapidly will be absorbed into your skin and things of that nature. So just be aware that it's in our community. It appears to be growing, and I know the Sheriff's Department, Police Department ourselves are dealing with it in various ways and trying to share information, but I think everybody just needs to be aware that that is a growing issue coming through our community. So I'll stand for any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Justin.
Justin, thank you. You're first.
For right now, right? Good morning. So Tamara Schubert, I'm with the Chaves County Cooperative Extension Service. So we just wanted to give a quick update, as next month, hopefully, we will have our full annual report for you all as well. On the 4-H side, many of y'all know we do have a position open. It is set to close this next month. So hopefully we get some good candidates rolling in for that one. We did get approval for our 2 big ag projects, so Progressive Ag Safety Days and what is now Ag Encounter will be offered to the school district starting in April. On our ag side, the pecan weevil trap and education workshops that we had are already proving that we have some active sites in the area that are now under treatment. So hopefully that will show an increase in our producers' pockets as well. We will be hosting the Southwest Ranchers Workshop again this year. And on the FCS side, we have several diabetic education and prevention classes going on right now that are already showing positive results with individuals that have lowered their A1C and no longer pre-diabetic or diabetic. So that comes back as medical information and things like that that are not going out. So just a quick summary, but like I said, next month, hopefully we have our full annual report for you all. Okay.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Tamara. And
Thank you.
I did sign up for the gardening.
Awesome. So
Master Gardener.
Yes, we have a great workshop.
I
going
can't
on
do
next week.
Master Gardener yet. I'm not there. I'm still trying to
Can't
grow.
once you get a greenhouse.
Once I get a greenhouse, and
I
I
will say
do,
y'all said
these are the
greenhouse, and I
raised,
went,
these are the raised beds. You're gonna teach me how
Yes.
to do raised beds.
Yes, so Drew is going to coordinate with our
Yes.
extension councils next week on
Yeah.
doing a raised.
I have
bed
some
garden
tractor
workshop.
tires that I'm looking at, and then a greenhouse, so. I might be able to raise more than 5 zucchinis this year, so.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tamara.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see
Thank
you,
you.
Tamara. Welcome home.
Anyone else? Is anybody commenting on Facebook? Okay. All right. Bill?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, of course, this morning, we're going to leave here in a little bit. We're going to go do our annual tour of the jail, and looking forward to that. I know it'll be the first time Mike has seen it from that side. The other side, I think he's just kidding. We just returned from the NACO conference in Washington, D.C. It's kind of a mixed bag. You go out there and you meet many like-minded people. We're on the Western Interstate Region Board. We voted on some resolutions that will help our Western way of life, our ranchers, our farmers. We met people from California, Oregon, Washington that are just like us that say, oh my gosh, you know, we would like to see the laws go this way. Very conservative people. They say that the population centers such as San Francisco, Portland are the areas where all the weird stuff is happening in their states, and they're, like I say, they're just like us. And we feel so energized and refreshed, and then we walk out of that meeting down the hall to the next meeting, and you encounter just as many, if not more, people that do not think anything like we do in the West. So we continue to fight, but you know, it's hard to say how effective we are at some times, and I know Michael will speak to that probably more. We did appreciate the legislative receptions, the first one we've had in several years in Santa Fe, and thanks to the EDC for putting that on, did a great job with it. Got to see a lot of really active people that do think the way that we do from all across the state of New Mexico. A lot of the legislators that came in there are just like us, so that was really good to see as well. We're getting ready to start our budget presentations, our preparations. That's coming right up, as it always does, very quickly. And we're looking forward to moving forward on that. I want to thank Tamara and Chaves County 4-H and the Cooperative Extension Service. They do so many great things in our community, and we don't always remember that till we need you, and until we have a pecan weevil, and then we want you right out there. So, but thank you for all that. Thank you, Commissioners. That's all I have this morning.
Thank you, Bill. All right. Anything you want to say?
I got a little bit. Thanks for the opportunity on the mic. I do want to echo a little bit of what Mr. Williams said about the NACO trip. It was a neat trip. The one thing that I realized is the National Association of Counties are strength in numbers. And while those numbers vary from place to place, there is strength in it. We were having some pretty good conversations with the Forest Service about some of their communications issues, at least with us locally in Chaves County. And we had probably 2 or 3 other counties join in with us at this makeshift little meeting in the hallway. And then ironically, another gentleman from another state echoed some of the same concerns we had. And the nice thing about that is you would never be able to get the number 1 or 2 person at the Forest Service's ear and their undivided attention had that not happened, and it was a spontaneous meeting and environment, so to speak. But it was nice to see that. The other thing that's important about it that I saw from my perspective is there are a lot of committees and there are a lot of other county commissioners that go up there and say they stand up in these committees and say they represent New Mexico, and in fact they don't represent Chaves County, they represent their county. And it's important, I think, for us to be there and echo our opinions that for Chaves County, because some of those opinions they're given on the state don't reflect necessarily our value system. So I appreciate that opportunity. The other thing I'd like to say is I attended a meeting the other night. It sounds like the Golden Gloves boxing for youth sports is coming back to Roswell, and it's going to be on the 24th, 25th, and 26th at Roswell High. And it's neat to give a little support to that. So if you have the time, go out and support the youth boxers and what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Mr. Taylor.
During the report from the Chamber and the Economic Development, they were talking about employment recruiting, and they touched on the college. I'd just like to say that I recently had an experience with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell and their program with internship and helping placing. I was very pleased with the program, and I was able to bring on a young lady that's studying accounting out there, is doing an internship with us. And I mean, the professionalism of the organization and the people that they bring forth is really great. So any employer, please contact the college. It's a great source for finding it, future employees. And I highly recommend it. And let's all enjoy, hopefully, a nice warm day without the wind.
We
Thank
don't
you,
say the
Commissioner.
W word.
Commissioner Dana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I attended New Mexico County's board, and I agree with Commissioner Perry. It is northern New Mexico versus southern New Mexico deluxe. I mean, we had a few bills that northern New Mexico wanted us to support and southern New Mexico, and boy, it was really an interesting discussion, I should say, Cindy. We do have New Mexico Board's priorities and support. One of them is bringing back, trying to get some of our gaps in law enforcement and detention officers, trying to get that through. State prisoner transport and extradition. I mean, there's a variety of stuff that we are looking to support. Some of the bills that we were opposing, that was an interesting discussion. There was, like I said, again, northern New Mexico versus southern New Mexico on some of these. So the one thing that we did get through is just staying neutral on some of these. So that was the best we could do. But it's interesting to be on that board too. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for letting me take Will's place on this. It's very important that we have a voice. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Michael, for being on NACO. We need a voice. We have to have a voice, because if we don't have a voice, gosh, some of this stuff is just amazing. I know sometimes it feels like that we're fighting a losing battle, but we at least get to state our piece. And I want to thank Andrea and EDC both, because I'm getting the emails from Andrea, hey, we've got some students, and if you have a place to put these students or these interns or these job seekers, let's do it. Just having a discussion with Mike this morning, the shortages that we're seeing right here, if we can partnership and get these people into jobs, they're more likely to stay here. And we've got to keep our workforce here, train them up and keep them here. So I'm glad we're doing these internships and stuff. So with that, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I did not blow away. My lawn furniture did. And so I've got to go find that today when I get home. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dana. I do have some protein tubs, protein tubs I bring to you, plastic ones, if you run out of tires to plant in.
Yes. All right.
Commissioner Ezell.
I'd like to just thank everybody for all their hard work. Congratulations on the audit results, Annabelle, and your staff. I'd like to express my thanks to the EDC for the reception they put together in Santa Fe. It was, as Mike said, very well attended. I'd like to thank the Chamber for attending Ag Fest. That was a good deal as well. And other than that, I have nothing.
Thank you, Commissioner Ezell. Annabelle, thank you guys for all you do, and congratulations on your accomplishments. Commissioner Dana, thank you for stepping up to some of these positions, and I know you'll represent us well, and you'll challenge them. If they're not challenged, you will challenge them to step up. And Commissioner Perry, thank you for taking your time to go to Washington, and Bill also. I know that's a sacrifice to do that, and cultivating those relationships, that helps a lot. But anyway, thank you for everybody for all your hard work and what you do, please be safe out there. And we're going to go sign documents, and Cindy, we're going to recess and reconvene at the detention center. Thank you.